But what else are they lying to us about? Well, it turns out the particular lie we're going to discuss today fits right in with the global warming scam. The lie about the quote-unquote dangers of the sun. The shocking truth about skin cancer. What you're not being told about the sun. This is an incredibly informative and detailed article on the Vigilant News Network, but I want to take you through some of the key points. The story at a glance is that skin cancers are by far the most commonly diagnosed cancer in the United States, so to prevent them, the public is constantly told to avoid the sun. However, while the relatively benign skin cancers are caused by sun exposure, the ones responsible for most skin cancer deaths are due to a lack of sunlight. This is unfortunate because sunlight is arguably the most important nutrient for the human body, as avoiding it doubles one's rate of dying and significantly increases their risk of cancer. A strong case can be made that this dynamic was a result of the dermatology profession, with the help of a top PR firm, rebranding themselves to skin cancer fighters, something which allowed them to become one of the highest paying medical specialties in existence. Unfortunately, despite the billions that is put into fighting it each year, there has been no substantial change in the number of skin cancer deaths. In this article, we'll also discuss the dangers of the conventional skin cancer treatments, the most effective ways for treating and preventing skin cancer, and some of the best strategies for having a healthy and nourishing relationship with the sun. It goes on to talk about the monopolization of medicine, and it says, throughout my life, I've noticed 3 curious patterns in the medical industry. They will promote healthy activities people are unlikely to do, for example, exercising or smoking cessation. They will promote clearly unhealthy activities industries make money from, like eating processed foods or taking a myriad of unsafe and ineffective pharmaceuticals. And they will attack clearly beneficial activities that are easy to do, like sunlight exposure, eating eggs, consuming raw dairy, or eating butter. And may we never forget the example of when doctors were telling people that more doctors smoke Camels than any other cigarette. That was once marketing and health advice. He talks about the benefits of sunlight here. One of the oldest proven therapies in medicine was having people bathe in sunlight. For example, it was one of the few things that actually had success in treating the 1918 influenza. Prior to antibiotics, it was also one of the most effective treatments for treating tuberculosis, and it was also widely used for a variety of other diseases. In turn, since it is safe, effective, and freely available, it really does stand to reason that certain individuals who wanted to monopolize the practice of medicine would want to cut off the public's access to it. By far the most common type of skin cancer is basal cell carcinoma, comprising 80% of all skin cancers, which for reference looks like this. And for the rest of the article, we'll call it a BCC. The exact incidence of BCC varies greatly, ranging from 14 to 10,000 cases per million persons, and within the United States, it is generally believed that around 2.64 million people get one per year, with around 4.32 million total cancers occurring, since some people get more than one. The 3 primary risk factors for BCC are excessive sun exposure, fair skin, which makes you more susceptible to excessive sunlight penetrating your skin, and a family history of skin cancer. Because of this, the widely varying incidence of BCC is largely due to how much sunlight exposure people have, and typically you'll find it in areas with frequent sunlight exposure, for example, the face. The important thing to understand about BCC is that because it almost never metastasizes, it is not very dangerous. Most sources say it has a 0% fatality rate. Instead, it's normally evaluated by how likely it is to recur once it's removed, which ranges from 65% to 95% depending on the source. The Midwestern doctor then takes us through some important information about other types of skin cancers, but I really want to highlight this section inside the Great Dermatology Scam. If you consider the previous section, the following should be fairly clear. By far, the most common skin cancer is not dangerous. The skin cancers you actually need to worry about are a fairly small portion of the existing skin cancers. Sunlight exposure does not cause dangerous cancers, except for SCC, which is nowhere near as dangerous as the others. So in essence, there's no way to justify banning sunlight to prevent skin cancer, as the benefit from this prescription is vastly outweighed by its harm. However, a very clever linguistic trick bypasses this contradiction. A single label, skin cancer, is used for everything, which then selectively adopts the lethality of melanoma, the frequency of BCC, and the sensitivity to sunlight that BCC and SCC have. He says this has always really infuriated me, so I've given a lot of thought to why they do this. A Midwestern doctor says, in short, as has happened many times in America, a remarkably sophisticated public relations campaign was launched to transform society for the benefit of the dermatology industry. He goes on to say, I am relatively certain a few of the core components of this campaign were a recognition that skin cancers are by far the easiest cancer to diagnose, since you just have to see them, demonize the sun, as doing so allowed the dermatologists to cast themselves as heroes and to stir up as much anxiety as possible about the sun, especially as a psychological investment that they had to make. Constantly putting sunscreen on would make them more likely to go to their dermatologist, and allow them to create a massive sales funnel by being allowed to do a massive number of routine full-body skin exams on otherwise healthy individuals, and hence have a huge pool of potential cancers or biopsy or excise. We encourage everyone to go and read that incredibly eye-opening article in full, linked in the description below and posted on vigilantnews.com. Everybody knows something is up. Something big is looming. Our gut tells us the globalists are planning their next move, and whatever it is, it will pale in comparison to COVID. Listen to your instinct and prepare with My Patriot Supply. Since 2008, My Patriot Supply has helped millions of American families prepare for the uncertain future. Many of them choose 3-month emergency food kits. With 22 food and drink varieties and over 2,000 calories per day, which is extremely important when considering emergency food supplies, as not all of them contain this, you can be sure you'll have sustenance in any emergency situation. Sealed inside ultra-durable 4-layer packaging, these ready-hour meals last up to 25 years in storage. Food is an insurance policy you and your loved ones cannot afford to miss out on. Stock up on all the food kits your family needs at our website, preparewithvnn.com. You'll get each kit for $200 off. Protect yourself and protect your people. Get your kits today at preparewithvnn.com. They'll ship fast and free. Preparewithvnn.com.